Hello and welcome. It's the 4th day of May 2023, and I'm saying a big thank you to you for joining me on another interesting, exciting episode of the newspaper review here on TAF TV. My name is Cyril Aloysius, and as you know, it has always been my pleasure to bring to you newspaper headlines across the nation. And today, as usual, we'll be doing it. We'll be looking at 3 papers, and of course, I have Mr. Victor Suku here by my side to look at the papers with me. Sir, you are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
How do you do?
Approximately normal.
Yes.
Normal. After the match of yesterday, I have been approximately normal. Yeah.
Yes, of course. All Arsenal fans are actually calm now because they know that the league is no longer in their hands right now. They fumbled enough to be quiet for some time so that to find out if Manchester City, who are actually in front right now, would fumble. But it's looking quite slim or impossible that this City team that we are watching currently would actually fumble. But let's watch and see if Pep Guardiola's side will fumble, because they don't look like they will fumble.
Point of correction, not all Arsenal fans. There are some Arsenal fans out there that is waiting till the last day, the 38th day of the league.
Okay. Let me just.
And the miracle could just happen.
Just before I go straight into the papers today, let me just ask you this last question before I go to the papers. Do you, as an Arsenal fan, believe right now at this point that Arsenal could still go ahead to win this league, or in your mind you feel okay, we've bottled it up again once again?
I believe.
You believe?
Yes, by 1%.
Why 1%? What happens to the remaining?
1% is something, so I'm still holding on to that.
Well, I want to say a big thank you to Manchester City and Pep Guardiola for really putting, an end to all the noise I've been hearing, recently from Arsenal fans. It's not been easy. Arsenal fans want to bust my eardrum for me.
And lastly,
we'll win this, we'll win that. Yes, he wants to say thank you to his Arsenal side too for actually winning.
Oh, how did you know?
No,
how did you know?
No,
for keeping you guys at 12th position.
No, see. Winning Chelsea currently is nothing special. It's just like a team winning Manchester City right now. It's very special. Or winning Arsenal, it's very special because people are the league or leaders. Chelsea, everybody knows we are doing bonanza this period. So if you don't take your own bonanza, or you're for you until next season. All right, so let's look at the papers for today. We're starting first by looking at the Vanguard. Interesting headlines here in the Vanguard. This one on page 5 says, NLC TUC kick as Senate OK's FG's 22.7 trillion naira ways and means. NLC TUC kick as Senate OK's FG's 22.7 trillion naira ways and means. That story is on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. And over now to page 8, we have organ harvesting. Organ harvesting. Senate seeks pardon for Ekweremadu. Organ harvesting. Senate seeks pardon for Ekweremadu. That's on page 8 of the Vanguard. And on page 4, we have my four wives, 28 children, proof I will succeed as speaker. According to Doguwa, he says, my 4 wives, 28 children, proof I will succeed as speaker. That's Doguwa saying on page 4 of the Vanguard newspaper. And over now to the world of sports on page 31. This one says, Okocha drags Diouf, Radebe, Song, Kanate to Nigeria. Okay, that story is on page 31. On page 4 now we have Sudan crisis. First batch of 400 evacuees expected in Abuja. Sudan crisis. First batch of 400 evacuees expected in Abuja. That's on page 4. And still on page 4 we have again, Labour Party disowns a Papa-led faction, blames APC governors, NWC members. Again, Labour Party disowns a Papa-led faction, blames APC governors, NWC members. That story is on page 4 of the Vanguard. And on page 9 now we have Tent Nas. We will contest for reps. For reps speaker, say opposition parties. We will contest for reps speaker, say opposition parties. That's on page 9 of the Vanguard. And over now to page 10, we have Lobby me for refund. Lobby me for refund. I don't owe you. Tinubu tells Wike. He says, lobby me for refund. I don't owe you. Tinubu is saying that to Wike on page 10 of the Vanguard newspaper. On page 4, over now to page 4 again, we have oil. Nigeria. 4 others account for over 80% of Africa's output, according to report. Oil. Nigeria. 4 others account for over 80% of Africa's output, according to report on page 4. And on page 27, we have Tetnas. We are working on consensus arrangement. Tetnas, we are working on consensus arrangement, according to APC on page 27. And lastly, in the Vanguard for today, we have on page 19, this one says Forex. Turnover in I&E window falls 46% to $1.4 billion. That's on page 19 of the Vanguard newspaper. You want more details on the headlines you heard? Get a copy of the Vanguard for yourself. Mr. Victor, I would like to I'd like to get your thoughts on this particular interesting headline on page 10 here. You know, the president-elect visited Nigeria yesterday. Visited Rivers State yesterday. I don't know what I'm thinking right now.
Are you abroad?
I'm beginning to see myself in France, you know. All right. So Tinubu visited Port Harcourt, Rivers State, yesterday, and he was responding to a claim by Wike that Wike is saying that he's owing him for, you know, working on federal roads. So he's saying he should lobby him for refund. I don't owe you. What do you make of this response from Tinubu to Wike?
Okay, somehow I saw some elements of, let's say, comical elements in those statements, okay? But yes, the news took it to another dimension. But I was privileged to be at the venue with the team yesterday.
Okay.
So I was on ground when he was making that statement, and it was all funny, okay? But yes, you know, the papers will do their thing to just take it up, okay? But if you also ask me, if you come down to business, I would say that the federal government should be able to, at least, if you are not paying everything, pay the states some money when they do federal projects. Because some of these projects are not to be done by the state. But when push comes to shove and the pressure is too much for these state governors, pressure from their people, especially if I make a mention of the East-West Road, the on-air axis, when you know that, see, your people are within that region, that road needs to be fixed, okay? So, but in terms of should they get the full payment, I totally also understand that some states use that means to siphon money from the federal. And that was the reason why it ended during the Buhari's regime. Okay. But in all, the visit by the president-elect to Rivers State was it was a much celebrated one.
Celebrated, you say?
Yeah, a much celebrated one.
Why do you say so?
Because I saw people out. Okay, I did not expect the crowd that I saw. Okay, one might also say that could it be that the crowd, they were enthusiastic to see who and how their president-elect looks like.
Okay.
Okay, so the turn-up was massive.
Okay.
Port Harcourt people turned up. Ikwere people, who are the owners of the land, also turned up. But I need to also make this, little notes that I got down during the visit or during the event yesterday. And I saw, okay, for the first time me seeing Jagaban. Some persons will be like, Jagaban is very, very ill that he cannot walk. My brother, man, this Jagaban I saw yesterday was walking freely. Okay?
Okay.
The Jagaban I also saw yesterday did not need aid to walk.
Okay. The one you saw yesterday was walking freely and did not need aid to work. Do you see that as something that comes down to the fact that he's naturally healthy, or the fact that he recently traveled out for treatment, and because of that, maybe he's based on the effects of the treatment, he's still able to carry himself about?
Well, mind you, this is my first time of seeing him.
Okay.
I cannot even really compare with my naked eye.
So that means
he was there.
So that means comparing what you saw to the clips that we have been seeing of him staggering, almost wanting to fall, and him not being able to raise up his hand and all of that. Are you saying that the clips that we've been seeing now are mere, would I say doctored, or were they doctored, or they were acted, or something like that, they were scripted?
No, I will not be in the position to say that those clips were scripted, but I also saw something yesterday.
Okay.
And that is when he was making his speech.
Okay.
You will still see the man Jagaban is not as strong, okay, as Governor Wike when Governor Wike came and made it. Governor Wike will talk. Well, you cannot compare his energy.
Don't you think? You
cannot compare his energy to Wike's energy.
Definitely.
At least when we come to age.
Don't you think that the reason why he was able to walk about, like you said, and without aid, is as a result of the fact that he just got medical treatment recently, very recently. So right now he should be hale and hearty, at least for a few days before he goes back to factory reset.
Dr. Siri. Dr. Siri.
Because the pictures we've been seeing of tubes injected in his hand and all of that.
But that could be photoshopped.
Do you believe those pictures were photoshopped?
Well, I've not really watched critically.
Okay.
Okay. But the Jagaban I saw yesterday, like I said, he was walking freely, but during his speech, he wasn't talking loud. And it affected almost the media houses around.
Good.
Okay? Well,
which gives further justification to the fact that just maybe this man is not healthy enough. I mean, how can somebody...
I'm not the doctor that will diagnose that.
Well, do we have to be do we have to be doctors to know when somebody is actually not really healthy? Come on now, we have to be realistic.
See,
yes,
I totally understand where you're coming from. Let's also face the fact that, see, being the president of this country, you need to be strong and tough.
Good.
Because the troubles are many. Are you ready? This is not just about you want to occupy that position.
Is he ready?
The occupation is coming with a whole lot of work. And some persons are also even have started comparing him with the president of the United States of America, Joe Biden.
Okay.
Okay? You're comparing him with Joe Biden. Joe Biden is older than Jagaban on paper. Sorry, I want to say on paper because of what we know. Some persons are saying that Jagaban is over 75 years old.
Isn't it ironical?
See, by the documents that he has, he is, I think 71? Yeah, 71.
Isn't it
but
ironical?
Some persons will be like, if you compare Joe Biden and Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you find out that Joe Biden is stronger than him.
Do we always need to light ourselves?
If you also bring somebody like Donald Trump, who is way older than him, one will see that Donald Trump is stronger. But see, it's not also about age. You see some men. It is not also about age, serious.
Mr. Victor,
you see some men that are
Mr.
70.
Victor, do you agree with me that the older a man gets, the weaker his brain cells?
Yes, I totally understand. But age, okay, let me use my father for example.
So we trying to clothe his age factor in gold doesn't really make sense.
See,
age also plays a good factor.
My dad will be 72 this October.
Okay.
Okay. But the 72-year-old father that I had, you cannot compare his strength with that of Ahmed Bola Tinubu.
Okay, so what are you trying to say in essence?
I'm trying to say that it is not just about the age. Nigerians are looking at age. I also understand that we need a young and vibrant leader.
Okay.
Okay. But in a case that we do not get a young and vibrant leader and we've gotten somebody over 70, the next question should be for me is the person healthy and strong?
Okay.
To lead the nation.
Okay, let's not really emphasize on the age much for now. Let's let me go into other things. How about intellect? Because we can't take that away from you know, a leader, someone who is supposed to be a leader. How about
in terms of intellect? So far, the person experience counts, and so far the person is not does not have score. Cannot reason well, does not have dementia.
Mr. Victor?
Okay.
Mr. Victor, come on now. Before the election, we saw things.
Hey.
We
forgot.
we saw things now.
I don't know why you are dragging me.
We saw videos.
But you remember what we are talking about? I don't want trouble.
Mr. Victor, no.
There was good party in Rivers State. Okay, unfortunately for the APC, in Rivers State, they were not there.
Okay.
Okay, some will say that could it be that they were not invited? But I think that his visit, as in Tinubu's visit to Rivers State, has really caused, will I say, a breakage in the party in Rivers State, and has shown that there is a whole lot of problem with the APC in Rivers State. Why will I say that? President-elect of the APC came to Rivers State, but we did not even see a flag of the APC or groups of the APC present. It was just PDP all the way. But on the other hand, you now ask, what then happens to Wike, who is a PDP member?
Yes.
That is now playing Ludo with APC.
Can I ask you a question, Mr. Victor? Yes, given what you just said now, from what you just said now, is it possible that maybe, just maybe, Governor Wike has the intentions? You know, he's a PDP member. Just maybe, could it be that he has the intentions of cross-carpeting? Maybe, probably because of his ambition to, you know, take a ministerial role when finally finally gets into power, and then appoint him in one of the ministerial roles. Then he switches into APC. Could it be that Governor Wike has succeeded in, probably he has intentions to play an APPDP kind of politics? Now, I don't know, but personally, I feel like I don't know whether you saw the clip then that Bola Tinubu was addressing a crowd, and then he said he made it looked like an error, but right now I'm beginning to think things through, and right now things don't look like an error to me anymore. He said APPDP, something like that. Okay, so when he said that, everybody was like, he made an error and stuff like that, so it was trending. And then, could it be right now that Governor Wike wants to be an APPDP kind of a politician? Because maybe when he finally gets into a ministerial appointment, then he wants to be there and then still control things in Rivers State, because he has actually helped out. I wouldn't want to call him his boy. I would say helped out some of his colleagues who, you know, they have similar interests, because politics is a game of interest.
Sure.
Similar. So I don't know. Do you see things from that angle as well?
Okay, I see from this angle that going forward, that the governor, the current governor who is leaving his position soon, might just go to the APC.
And then still have influence.
His people, yes.
And then still have influence.
Yes.
On what's going on here in Rivers State through his boy.
Yes, they might at the end of the day reach an agreement with the APC, the national APC, reach an agreement with them, telling them that, see, the chairman of the party in Rivers State needs to be changed. If they change the party chairman or sack the party chairman in the state and give the structure to Wike,
okay,
then they will swing into the APC, and that'll be that for the current government of APC in Rivers State, especially Rotimi Amechi and what's his name, Toyeko.
Wow.
As the Guba candidate of this.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Victor, for your thoughts on that headline. Let's not waste too much time. We'll go on a break right now, and when we return, we'll take our remaining papers for the day. I will call it a day. Please stay tuned.
Hey there. Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
Yes, you are welcome back from that short break, and let's continue from where we stopped now. We shall be looking at the Guardian newspaper. Headlines here in the Guardian says, this one on page 6 says, Nigeria to spend next 40 years repaying controversial 23.72 trillion naira CBN overdraft to federal government. Wow. Nigeria to spend next 40 years repaying controversial 23.72 trillion naira CBN overdraft to federal government. That story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. On page 5, we have corrupt officials sabotaging a passport issuance. Aregbesola alleges corrupt officials sabotaging a passport issuance. Aregbesola alleges on page 5 of the Guardian. And on page 3 here we have Senate cannot stop demolition of Lagos airport, says federal government. Senate cannot stop demolition of Lagos airport, says federal government. That's on page 3. On page 18 we have Nasima, N-A-C-C-I-M-A, CPPE, lament worsening state of economy. That story is on page 18 of the Guardian. And on page 9 we have police officers, families to vacate 25 barracks for renovation. Police officers, families to vacate 25 barracks for renovation. That story is on page 9 of the Guardian. And on page 4 we have, despite probes, official corruption undermining building control enforcements. Despite probes, official corruption undermining building control enforcements. That story is on page 4 of the Guardian. And on page 6 now we have NAS leadership. Tinubu defers zoning decision after May 29. NAS leadership. Tinubu defers zoning decision after May 29th. That story is on page 6. And lastly in the Guardian we have on page 27, Project refund. I owe you nothing. Tinubu tells Wike. Project refund. I owe you nothing. Tinubu tells Wike. We just talked about this particular headline in the previous paper. Okay, that's the much we can take in the Guardian for today. Mr. Victor, please let me get your thoughts on this headline here on page 6 concerning the debts our dear country is owing. Over 23.72 trillion naira. Nigeria to spend the next 40 years repaying controversial 23.72 trillion naira CBN overdraft to federal government. That's a lot of money, Mr. Victor.
Big
How
money.
do you react to this?
Big money. That's a huge one. Okay. Now, if you remember, when Jonathan was leaving office, or few years to when he was leaving office, we saw a government that was fully criticized that they were using money made by the country recklessly. They were using monies that we are supposed to be saving, that Ngozo Konji-Iweala recommended that those monies should be saved. Okay, that money was from the SS crude account. SS crude account is when you sell more than what you expected and you keep that money somewhere. Okay, but what happened? They squandered the money, and that was it. But the bad part of this right now is that this current government does not even have SS crude account money. They don't even have, they can't even say they have savings because of the SS revenues that they've gotten. This one is that the revenue is not even enough. But now you are also going out few days to the end of your regime to go and collect loan that Nigerians will pay for the next 40 years. This same loan, you are saying that the loan will help for the budget deficit, meaning that, yes, we understand that you are not meeting up with the budget. You now need that loan But the question now is also, this same loan that you are going to collect is even bigger than the budget itself. You see where we are having issues? And you tag it ways and means. Yes, they've been using also these ways and means through the CBN. CBN gives them, they can go through the CBN and get these loans called ways and means.
But Mr. Victor, let me ask a question, please. The Nigerian government has been borrowing for ages now. What exactly has those monies been used for?
They'll say for rail, which I totally agree with them that
Just
they
rail?
They improved on rails.
Just rails?
But there are also different sectors
That we are owing 23 my God.
What about refinery? No, this government,
And we don't have a working refinery in this country.
They've tried to release, is it 93 pages of documents to tell us what they have done, to document their successes, okay? But my brother, the issue that we've been having in this for the past 8 years is that this government have not been, they were not able, because for me it has ended. They were not able to look out for means aside oil and taxes to generate income.
Okay.
Okay? They were not, you will not say that, see, they industrialized the country in the past 8 years, or they made some critical investment that will yield us so much money.
So what exactly was the essence of borrowing such huge amount of money?
Because they say they want to use it on roads, they want to use it on the rail, they want to. But see, you and I know that the kind of money that they are. How can you be leaving office by this time? No, the country is a corrupt country.
This country is so
corrupt.
corrupt.
How can you be leaving office by this time, almost in less than a month? In about 3 weeks.
I want to go and borrow more money.
And you are the Senate, that same Senate that is rubber stamp, that is led by Adamu Adamu. It's I'm sorry, but it's a shame that we are talking about borrowing, impoverishing the younger ones, a loan that we paid in the next 40 years. So what were you able, when you were giving that seed that you said you are going to revitalize the economy, you are going to increase our revenue,
It
but
tells
at
us,
the end of the day,
it tells us one thing: we have been lied to all these years. We have been lied to.
They want us
years.
to congratulate them. That's the very painful part of all this. They want to be appreciated. They want Nigerians to clap for them for doing a very good job. So sad.
All right, we'll move straight to our next paper now, which happens to be our last paper for the day. Don't forget, you can actually, contribute to this discussion. You want to be a partaker, you have questions to ask, suggestions to make, drop them in the comment section, and I promise to reply to them. Okay, we shall be looking at the Daily Sun now newspaper. We have more interesting headlines. This one on page 6 says, "I won't marginalize any part of Nigeria." That's Tinubu saying. I won't marginalize any part of Nigeria, Tinubu is saying on page 6. Hails Wike for championing justice, but declines commitment on refund of money spent building federal roads, bridges in rivers. Okay, that's on page 6 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Over now to page 6. Okay, still on page 6 we have Senate approves federal government's 22.7 trillion naira CBN loan request. Buhari launches Nigeria Agenda 2050. That's on page 6 as well of the Daily Sun newspaper. And on page 2 we have Air Peace accuses Nigerian Labour Congress NLC of targeting its operations. Air Peace accuses NLC of targeting its operations. That story is on page 2 of the Daily Sun. On page 26 we have opposition reps elect insist on contesting speakership position. Opposition reps elect insist on contesting speakership position. That story is on page 26 of the Daily Sun. On page 5 now we have police list 25 distressed barracks for demolition in Lagos. Police list 25 distressed barracks for demolition in Lagos. That's on page 5 of Daily Sun. On page 28 now we have NAS. We are not in a hurry to zone offices. We are not in a hurry to zone offices. according to Adamu, APC chair, on page 28. And on page 27, we have Obi's mantra, mandatory for elected Labour Party office holders, says party. Obi's mantra, mandatory for elected Labour Party office holders, says party. That's on page 27 of the Daily Sun newspaper. On page 26 here, again, we have work for national unity. Northern elders tell Iwanyanwu. Work for national unity. Northern elders tell Iwanyanwu on page 26. And on page 4, we have court adjourns Kanu's application for medical leave. Court adjourns Kanu's application for medical leave. That's on page 4 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Lastly, now on Daily Sun, we have on page 26 again, it says Ekweremadu, Senate pleads for mercy. Ekweremadu, Senate pleads for mercy. Joins others in as asking UK government for leniency. That story is on page 26 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Mr. Victor, just before I draw the curtain on today's episode of the newspaper review, I'd like to get your thoughts on this headline here on page 2 concerning Air Peace, accusing the NLC of targeting its operations. Please, what do you think about it?
Okay, first of all, thanks goodness to the Nigerians that were able to go bring back our countrymen from Sudan this morning.
Okay.
Kudos to that. Yes, we know there were some blemishes about those about the processes that were taken, but it is well, thank God for life. So you talked about Air Peace. Air Peace, headed by our own Onyema. Onyema is a man that has really served his people and served the nation. Okay, so what is happening? Let me just go straight to the details. You find out that during the May Day on Monday, Imo State had issues doing their thing. I mean, the Labour Congress, the NLC in Imo State, had issues with their activities, running their activities, because they accused the governor of not allowing them to do their bidding, to do their thing on the May Day, and they now had to go on a protest. The protest came to the Peace, that's Peace Airline, telling them not to fly to Owerri, that they are shutting down Owerri, okay, as at yesterday, that no flight should go. They want to protest and make sure that they grant the state because of their issues with the state governor. But I want to make this known. Why would they be targeting Peace, if you ask me? Okay, because I'm like, this is a private business. Okay? Peace Air or Air Peace is a private business, and when you disrupt all those things without any notice, prior notice, both for the persons that are traveling and the corporation itself, brother, it only in Nigeria.
A lot of things.
Yes, it's only in Nigeria that people want to protest and they just start the protest. Many times you prepare for protest so that all your associates or branches will be ready. So what did they happen? They just stormed the airport yesterday and said no flight should go to Owerri. Are you getting me? Okay. And look at what Peace is saying, that they've lost 700 million naira because of that stoppage.
My God.
Yeah. So, and I'm sorry to say this. You know, we are now too comfortable in this country that we go to strike anyhow, and we go on public holidays anyhow, forgetting that any day that you don't turn up, money is being lost at the end of the day. And see, let's also not, yes, one's right is very critical and important, but let's not also forget that stomach infrastructure is very, very important. As you are going out daily for your hustle, it is a chain reaction. Look at what happened yesterday, shutting down of Rumola Rumokuta. Don't tell me that many lives were not affected. And this happened without major or long notice. It came so short. In the afternoon of on Tuesday, that was when we heard the news that the governor came out and has declared a public holiday. So when you make such moves, it does not help businesses. Lastly, business like Air Peace, that we know that this man okay, he even made mention recently that his business is not churning out profits, that he uses other businesses to fund the airline. And I think I will take that from him, because if you check, how many airlines are still running on our runways for the past 10 years like Peace? Peace came into existence in 2013, just before the 2015 election. Yeah, and some persons were like, that Goodluck Jonathan was the one that sponsored it. Yeah, they were just rumors about that. But see, for the past 10 years, we can beat our chest that Peace is that Nigerian air that they've been trying to do under the government.
Okay.
Okay, you find out that, see, Peace has been the Nigerian air. That's the reason why I am not for the Nigerian air. That's Nigerian Airways that they try to rejuvenate to Nigerian air. There is no need for that. You guys cannot manage it.
You already have
Peace. Not even manage. There are many 9 posts is there. 9, 10. You still have the assets. You cannot even manage all those assets. Now you want to bring Air Nigeria because of Kenya is doing their thing. Ethiopia is doing their thing. South Africa Air is doing their thing.
Follow.
You now want to do Giant of Africa. Giant, you go deal there.
Thank you, Mr. Victor, for your thoughts on
want
that
to waste our
headline.
money.
I really
waste our
appreciate your time with me on the program today. And as for you, my faithful viewers, I want to say thank you to you too. I hope you did have an amazing time on today's episode. But this is the end of the road for us today. Thank you once again. Please, if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, make sure you do so. And after subscribing, you could as well follow us on our different social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and of course on YouTube we are TAF TV, but on Instagram we are TAF TV_NG. All right, my name is Cyril Aloysius. Until I come your way again next time, do enjoy the rest of your day. It's a bye for now, and thanks for watching.